What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick. You're invading Make a Mess. Kackis here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel and let me know what you want my next intro to be. That comment section is absolutely wild. Alright, today we are going to be showcasing an utterly ridiculous build, and the amount of content you can take this build into and have it perform really well is astounding, because what we're doing is making a build that centers around the Vex Mythoclast. Guys, I think you could make a really compelling argument that the best overall exotic in Destiny 2 right now during Season of the Lost is the Vex Mythoclast. Firstly, it absolutely stomps in PvP. Like, it is dominant if you're in Iron Banner. Generally, people who have access to this weapon are using it. So PvP, it's phenomenal, S tier. Then in PvE, it's also performing incredibly well. With the start of this season, Bungie gave it a 40% damage buff against PvE combatants. That, combined with the fact that it's a fusion rifle technically, so it gets access to fusion rifle unstoppable rounds, and also combined with the fact that primaries now get infinite ammo, means that you will never have to stop shooting this thing. And it's not really just a primary. Remember, when we take a look at its exotic perks, its intrinsic perk basically turns a fusion rifle into an auto rifle, but then its other unique perk, Temporal Unlimiter, means that as you get kills and charge up your overcharge meter, you can convert this weapon into a linear fusion rifle. And it's going to hit pretty hard. It's going to feel like a special weapon that, again, just uses infinite primary ammo. But somehow that's not all. If you get the exotic Catalyst after final blows, it's going to improve the stability, accuracy, and, a change made just this season, add extra weapon damage. So this thing is unreal. How do we make the Vex Mythoclast the best possible version of itself? How do we turn an already incredible weapon into a completely broken monster? Well, that's going to involve stacking as much damage as possible on top of the Vex Mythoclast. So first things first, we are utilizing the Titan, and that's so we can use the relatively new Path of Burning Steps exotic leg armor. So the intrinsic exotic perk is Firewalker. Solar final blows periodically grant you an escalating bonus to weapon damage. You are harder to slow or freeze with stasis, and when you break out, you take no damage from doing so, creating a burst of solar energy around yourself. So quite frankly, we are using this because it provides that Firewalker solar weapon damage bonus, and of course the Vex Mythoclast is solar. Now keep in mind that this part of the build, just utilizing Path of Burning Steps with Vex Mythoclast, does work, and very effectively, within PvP. Because, as you can see when testing, Firewalker does work with the Catalyst, so the base damage is 1736, after a kill it's 2085, or with Firewalker times 1 it's 2085, but if you combine these things it's 2501. But we can get that damage up even more. Although Firewalker doesn't seem to stack with high energy fire, it does stack with Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. This was just buffed in Season of the Lost, and now it gives you 25% more damage. And we can see that right here. With Firewalker by itself, times 3, 2814, Font of Might by itself, 2170, and together 3257. So they are stacking upon each other and providing, again, even more damage. But guys, we can actually do even more damage, and that's by using the Particle Deconstruction Seasonal Artifact mod. Dealing damage to a combatant with a fusion rifle or linear fusion rifle grants bonus damage with a fusion or linear fusion against that combatant for a short duration. This effect stacks up to 5 times. So what does that look like with every single damage increasing factor together? So, but after getting a kill and getting the bonus from the Catalyst, and then getting Firewalker ×3, it doesn't scale higher at ×4, then getting an Elemental Well and triggering Font of Might, and with the Deconstruction perk active all the way up with ×5, you're going to be doing 4,933 damage for a body shot against a Shank, and we started with 1736. Guys, that is 185% more damage. So almost 200% more damage, almost tripling the damage of the Vex Mythoclast. Just absurd. And the result is that you can use this infinite ammo primary weapon to decimate yellow bars, to embarrass even like champions. Like, you absolutely just run through pretty much every single enemy you encounter. Bosses, it doesn't matter, you stomp them, as long as you have those damage bonuses active. But let's take a look at the rest of the build, because we have a bunch of synergies here as well. So firstly, we're using elemental armaments, where weapon takedowns with a damage type that matches your subclass element have an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well. So we're using our Solar Vex Mythoclast. You will need to use a Solar Titan subclass, which is fine, and then you're gonna spawn a bunch of elemental wells just for getting kills with your Mythoclast, which is the entire point of this build. Then continuing from there, we're also going to be using actually Well of Life. You're spawning solar elemental wells, might as well use this to constantly regenerate health for 10 seconds every time you pick one up, adding a bunch of survivability. The next thing we're using is Elemental Charge. So every time you pick up an elemental well, you get 2 stacks of Charge with Light if it matches your subclass, which it does, and then that means we can use Protective Light to actually make use of those stacks. If we do get damaged, Protective Light will trigger and give us a huge amount of damage resistance, extremely good for PvE. And to be honest, your other weapons really don't matter too much. Use whatever special weapon you want in that kinetic slot. Something like the new Fractalus shotgun would be a decent choice. And then for the heavy slot, again, use pretty much whatever you want, but just make sure it is a solar weapon, just so that you can also trigger the elemental ordnance and stuff like that with your other weaponry if you do have to switch off of the Vex Mythoclast, which, to be perfectly honest, you really don't. I've been running this thing in, again, so many different activities, even doing, the Vault of Glass raid with it, and holy crap, it's been phenomenal. Like, it really trivializes a lot of activities just because you really have something that's capable of dealing with everything you're going to encounter, but just the infinite ammo aspect is so darn powerful. Usually, yeah, you can absolutely destroy, a lot of things with, a 1,000 voices or another heavy exotic weapon, but then you're gonna run out of ammo, so much of your build has to do with ammo finders and ammo scavengers for your heavy weapon or your special weapon. But with this, you really don't need them. You can maximize your stats, you can put on other things that give you benefits, you can really ignore the ammo aspects because of the Vex being a primary. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.